Hi guys, and welcome to Knitting for Beginners. In today's video we are going to do the purl stitch. Now I've cast on 10 stitches, 10 normal stitches as you can see here, and I've also just left a 15cm tail to tie in at the end of the work. With the purl stitch, you may often see this on a knitting pattern as P, and then the number of stitches required are written after the P. So P4 would be purl 4 stitches. Or you'd often see P row, meaning the whole row needs to be purl stitches. With the purl stitch, we do it backwards to the knit stitch. It's basically the knit stitch in complete reverse. So we would take our needle, and with our right hand needle we go back in through the front of the stitch and across the top of the left hand needle, forming again the cross. Your wool with the purl stitch is worked from the front of the knitting. So we go in over the top of the left hand needle and we go round the front of the needle with our wool, pull it through and release the stitch off the needle, thereby giving you a purl stitch on your right hand needle. So the second stitch, we pop the needle in and we go above the left hand needle from right to left. We then pop the wool round, working from the front, pop the stitch through and off, and again pop the needle through the next stitch, round the front, withdraw the right hand needle and take the stitch from the left hand needle. Again, pop your right hand needle in, round the front, through and back. You can see that the hole naturally opens up when we're working on the purl side, so it's pretty easy to see, well, with this size needles it's pretty easy to see the hole. The right hand needle sits quite naturally to go through that with the wool round it and then back through again, and we continue to the end of the row with the same process, through the front, round the front and withdraw the needle until you get to the end. And what you'll see there is that you have your first set of 10 stitches with the purl stitch. The purl stitch actually makes this little bobble here, and if I continued in purl stitches going backwards and forwards, we would create with these individual purl stitches what they call a garter pattern. It's exactly the same. If you knitted every row, you'd have the same pattern. Most people find the knit stitch the quickest to do, but the purl stitch allows us to create different shapes. So we need to move the stitches over now into our left hand, so they all start again on the left hand needle. And again, we'll do one more row of purl stitching. So we need to keep that end out the way. Pop your needle through over the top of your left hand needle, round the front, back through and over, through and over, through, forming the cross over the top of the left hand needle, keeping your wool at the front of your work, round your needle and through you go. Into your fourth stitch on this second row, through and over you go. And if you watch as you pull your wool through, you can see the shape that actually starts to make this little bubble over the top, which forms your garter pattern. Now we go to the end here of the row. There we go. And we swap that needle over to the other side. And if we have a look there, you can see you've got another row of purl stitching. And that is the purl stitch. I'll see you in the next video.